What is up, y'all? We're back for the Midsummer's Derby, Travers Stakes, Saratoga Springs, $1.3 million purse this year. Good field. Got the Kentucky Derby winner. We got the 2-year-old champion Florida Derby winner. We've got the Preakness winner. We've got the Belmont winner. Missing the Haskell winner, but hey, can't have everything you want. Decent field here, 7 horses, mile and a quarter. Let's get into it. Number 1, Forte. Irad Ortiz Jr. back, 2-year-old champion. We know this horse well. Trained by Todd Pletcher. 7-5 morning odds. I think that's a bit low. He might very well go off between the in that sweet spot between even money and 2-1. 7-5, 8-5. I'm really not sure that is warranted. The horse has done a lot. 2-year-old champion. Last out, he got a win in the Jim Dandy. Before that, he ran second in the Belmont behind Arcangelo, who's the 2. Missed the Kentucky Derby. Got a win in the Florida Derby. Missed the Preakness. You can see why everyone likes this horse. My problem with Forte is he has yet to put up anything below even time or even at even time. He's always a second above even time. I don't know if he's got it in him. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe this is the race where he's going to prove that he can. But I'm not sure that this race is going to come in. I don't think this race is going to come in even time either. So he's going to have a chance. Anyway, I think he's definitely got a chance. He's obviously, I guess you should say, should be the favorite. Though I really wouldn't make him the favorite, being that he got beaten the Belmont by another horse that's in here. And that's the number 2, Arcangelo. Javier Castellano riding him. Now, Javier Castellano has the record for Travers wins. 6 Travers wins. He's sired by Arrogate. So his father has the record for the race. I don't know if you all remember that race. Arrogate just ran away with the Travers. I was like, what? It was one of those situations. I had to go in a little John mode. What? And I was like, that looked really fast. And I looked at the time and I said, what? 1:59 and 1. And I was like, I got to look it up. So, go online, Google it, Wikipedia, pull up the record, and I'm like, man, that was the record. Wasn't expecting that. Baffert horse, you know what I mean? Just went out, took over. So Arrogate's sired by that horse, who's an unbridled song horse. Not too shabby there. And his mother's father's Tappet. How do you beat that breeding? I mean, Tappet has every great horse in history. Don't know what my neighbors decided to start blasting something. Don't know how that's going to come across in the audio, but we do this in one take. Anyway, you got Tappet with Unbridled Song with Arcangelo, already a horse that came out, dominated this race. Tappet, you got that AP Indian there, which that means you got the Secretariat in there, and you got the Seattle Slew in there. And I mean, this is excellent breeding, you got to say, from this horse. This horse might be as well-bred as Mystic Guide, I think. That being said, the horse is represented. Did a mile, 1:34, which is the best relative time on the board. Came out in the Belmont. That was a 2:29 win. I mean, but they came out and they really New Yorked it up in that pace. So it was a slow pace in the Belmont. He got the win pretty easily. Like I said, he's got the sired by the record holder, sired by the record, or being ridden by the record holder. Javier Castellano got wins on Bernardini, on Keen Ice, Catholic Boy, Stay Thirsty, VE Day, as I said, Bernardini, and a Fleet Express. Forgot that horse even existed. A Fleet Express. Castellano going for number 7. Why this horse should be the favorite, in my opinion. Looking at the resume, Forte's a great horse. But you know, I just I don't know. I think Arcangelo should be the favorite. I think Arcangelo might be the favorite. We might end up with co-favorites in this one because the smart money I think is going to come in on Arcangelo heavy. Um, just look at what he's done. Uh, we'll see how that comes off. That only really matters for how you're going to bet. Number 3, Tapit Trice. 12-1 morning odds. Now, that seems a bit unfair. This horse has been very competitive his whole career. Sired by Tapit. They switched up the jockey. Todd Pletcher, the trainer. Luis Saez hasn't been getting it done on this horse, so they switched it up. Switched him to switched Jose Ortiz over to Tapit Trice, and Luis Saez is jumping back on Mage since Castellano rode Mage and Arcangelo and had to choose one. So Tapit Trice, blinkers on. Now, real quick on blinkers. I have collected data on over 10,000 races. Over 10,000. I don't know if it's up to 20. I don't know where the number's at. I tracked it over 10,000. I've never found anything that says that going blinkers on or off makes a difference. I'm sure with some horses it does. The idea is you don't want to have your horse with ADD where your horse is all over the place. You know, you kind of think like, well, we'll put him into this box like many people live in, and I only see what's going on in front of me, and this will keep me focused on the things that the overlord wants me to be focused on. The overlords, rather, being the jockey and Todd Pletcher, the trainer, Todd Pletcher, jockey. This trainer and jockey want me to stay focused like this, and so they're thinking that if the horse can only see the track, he's only going to focus on the race. I kind of think that may work sometimes, but if a horse truly has ADD like me, this is only just going to make life more difficult. And instead of being able to see with perspective, as you're supposed to be able to see, now I got to do all kind of crap like this because I still want to know what's going on. I'm just really not focused on the race now. Whereas if you just leave it natural, I can see what's in front of me, and yeah, I'll see the other stuff too. Maybe it's a distraction, or maybe I'm just not that fast and you got me in the wrong race. Maybe you need to train me harder. Maybe you need to train me to run quicker. Maybe you need to train me to take on a better distance. Maybe you need to come up with a better strategy for me to be able to win the race versus the horses I'm racing against. Possibly. But they're doing a blinker thing, and that's what they're going with. I don't really think it makes much of a difference. Like I said, I've never found any statistical data that shows it, and I've tracked lots of statistical data. Maybe it's there. I didn't see it. 5th in the Haskell, 3rd in the Belmont, 7th in the Kentucky Derby. Last win was the Bluegrass Stakes. But when he's facing these other horses, he had to face Mage in the Kentucky Derby. You know, he had to face Arcangelo and Forte in the Belmont. Came out in the Haskell, lost to Mage again in that one. Got beat by Go Rocket Ride. I really would like to see Go Rocket Ride in this race, but, didn't happen. Tapit Trice has his work cut out for him. I think the biggest difference is the jockey change. I think Jose Ortiz is a little titch better than Luis Saez. Both very talented, both very accomplished, but, I mean, he's no Bailey. So, we'll see what he can get this horse to do. I do like the horse, but this is one of the toughest races to win in horse racing. This is as tough to win as the Kentucky Derby, in my opinion. That's why they call it the Graveyard of Champions, because horses that are supposed to win, I mean, it's just a lot of competition. Saratoga is built for the money, all right? Just like Keeneland's built for the money. They're bringing all the big money in, so that's why it's so tough to win there. It brings together all the top competition. And American horse racing, and I'm just not sure Tapit Trace is up there. Just not sure he's up there. Not for this one. May hit the board though, but I think he's facing too tough a competition. Number 4, Mage, just said he switched over to Saez because Castellano's going to be riding Arcangelo. 4-1 in the morning odds. I guess that's fair for Mage. Mage sired by Good Magic, which was a curling horse. Mother's father, Big Brown. I would love the breeding in this horse. Not as much as Arrogate, but I do really like the breeding in this horse. I kind of thought he'd be a late bloomer, but he managed to come out and get that win in the Kentucky Derby. Problem is, Javier Castellano was riding him for that one. Javier Castellano rode him in the Preakness, where he ran third. Javier Castellano rode him in the Haskell, where he ran second. A respectable second, but got beat by Go Rocket Ride. Not that impressive of a time once again. So not that blazing speed you really want to see. Luis Saez coming back aboard. He rode him in the Florida Derby. Ran second in that one. Decent race. Got beat by Forte. Looked to be coming of age. So Saez is back aboard him now. So I think that was a smart choice. Probably the smartest way you could go, being that Castellano is not going to be on him. Don't know if he's got the speed, though. Maybe he's still growing. Maybe this breeding is really going to take hold. That's the thing with 3-year-olds. Pardon me. 3-year-olds are still growing up. They're like college athletes. Where you see sometimes these guys in college sports not so great as a freshman. You know, we've all seen that. College football fans, basketball fans too. Not so great as a freshman, but you see that guy that sophomore, he stops making mistakes. You know, junior, he starts being able to figure out what he can do well, and then senior year figures out how to be really effective. And so you shrink that 4-year college career down on horses to like 1 year. So that means like every 3 months the horse is like kind of going through that next year in this analogy. So Mage could be coming more of age and may be able to put more together here. I could see picking him. But you're going to be looking for the horse to do something he really hasn't done before, in my opinion. There's really great jockeys in this race. I'm not looking for anything crazy because all these jockeys have won a lot of big races for the most part. They all got a lot of money. They're not trying to prove anything. I mean, it's Castellano, I guess, trying to like stack on top of his record. I'm not sure that's going to be too much of a factor. I think the strategy is going to be pretty smart all around, and Mage is just going to have to get it done as a horse. Number 5, National Treasure, Preakness winner. I like this horse to run second in the Preakness. He got the win. I didn't think he'd be able to hold off the lead. It wasn't so much that he overperformed, in my opinion. I just kind of thought the other horses underperformed. I thought Mage underperformed. Didn't think Castellano went for it in enough time. It is what it is. Didn't win. National Treasure came out and ran the Belmont, though, 6th. Beaten by Arcangelo. Beaten by Forte. Before he ran in the Preakness, he was in the Santa Anita Derby. 4th in that one. Practical Move, Santa Anita Derby winner. Still waiting to see on that. I really like Practical Move. Thought he was going to do something. But still not back. Blinkers Off on National Treasure. Trained by Bob Baffert. Ridden by Johnny Velasquez. 8-1 odds. He's probably going to try to go out front. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get the lead in this one. Not sure he's going to be able to control that pace because I think that is going to be controlled by Scotland, Junior Alvarado. So I think Johnny V sits right off the lead. I think Baffert's going to want him to take over, but it's 1.25 miles, and you know Johnny V's he's got a clock in his head. I mean, it's not a Rolex, but I mean Johnny V's got a clock in his head. So I think Johnny V's going to try to rate the horse appropriately. I don't think that's going to work in his favor in this race. The horse is not necessarily, decently bred. Out of quality road, that's an essential quality horse. Produced some essential qualities, produced some mile and a quarter winners, elusive quality, Smarty Jones, Medaglia d'Oro, mother's father. So decent, but when you're looking at this kind of competition, I'm just not sure National Treasure is really going to have it. I think the horse is going to have to do something special. I think the win he's going to have to try to hammer it out and take the lead. Now, maybe Baffert tells him, go for it. I don't care what you got to do. Do that opening half in 44 seconds if you got to. I want you to get the lead. Honestly, if he does that, I think maybe it's probably his best shot. I don't think rating this horse against the competition is really going to be the best strategy. But at a mile and a quarter, and being that they're in New York, I think that he's probably going to position him not quite right to get the win. So good win in the Preakness from this horse, but don't know if he's going to have it for this one. Number 6, Disarm. A gun runner horse. Mother's father's Tappet. So you got some good breeding there. Good breeding. Good mile and a quarter breeding, of course. This horse backed his way into the Kentucky Derby. He ran like third in Lexington, I think it was, to get in. Did an impressive fourth in the Kentucky Derby once he got there. I guess you got to say that's pretty impressive, being the way he backed his way into the race with the points. Got a win in the Matt Win, but then came out fourth in the Jim Dandy. So wasn't able to be competitive against Forte. I just think Disarm is just a step slow. They get him in there. Asmussen's the trainer. Joel Rosario's riding him. So I think you're going to get a good ride. Rosario won last year with Epicenter, trained by Asmussen as well. So these two are trying to run it back. I don't think they got the horse for it. I think the competition is going to be a bit too tough, and if the pace gets wacky, it could be anybody's race. And I kind of think that's why they're in there, and that's what they're kind of hoping for. But I don't know that they're really going to be able to have that happen in this one. But if it does get wacky, they're bringing the goods. Rosario, horse is competitive, bred well. Finishes well, but I just don't think he's up to snuff with some of these others. Number 7, Scotland, 12-1 morning odds. Junior Alvarado riding this one. Bill Motch, the trainer. Now, this is a good magic horse. I expect him to be on the lead. He has produced some good races in his career. 4 outs, 3 wins, 1 second by a nose. He's got a win in Florida, Gulfstream. Got a win in Kentucky at Keeneland. Second by a nose at Keeneland. Got a win in Kentucky at Churchill. And won the Curlin in New York. So horses gets around well, finishes extremely well. He's won every race and finished by a nose in the other race he's been in. So he's shown that he can be competitive. I think he's probably going to set the pace in this one. I think he's going to Junior Alvarado. That's one thing. Younger jockeys on front runners don't rate horses as well. Rating horses up front is probably one of the most difficult things in horse racing. So Junior Alvarado is probably just going to go for it. I think that it's going to be to the horse's detriment. I think he's probably going to run him out of gas. Probably going to be trying to outrun National Treasure, who I think is also going to try to get the lead. And I think he's probably going to take a bit too much out of the horse in the beginning. The horse has been done very well, but that's against lesser competition. These are the top 3-year-olds of the year. So he's definitely stepping into the ring with top competition. You got championship horse. You got 2-year-old champion running in here. You got Kentucky Derby winner in here, Preakness winner, Belmont winner. This ain't no joke. So Scotland is going to have his work cut out for him. Once again, I think if horse like this, I think you just got to try to run away with it. as they call that, stealing the race. Just try to run away with it, outpace the other horses, but that's very difficult because it's a fine line between burning enough distance between yourself and the other horses and running yourself out of gas. You run last. So it's very difficult to do. Junior Alvarado, he's decent. He's stepping it up. Got his work cut out for him in this one. So it's almost really no reason to talk about the pace. I've said what I think the pace is going to be. I think we got 48-second opening half mile. I do think Scotland gets the lead. I think Scotland gets the lead. I think he's probably going to run a bit too quick. 48 seconds doesn't seem fast, but I think they're going to slow it down. I think they come out a bit more aggressive. 23 that first couple furlongs, but I think he's just gonna back it off. Probably a 48, probably a 112 in the 3/4. Probably low 48, 48 flat, probably 48 and 1. But it's New York, and I don't know. I don't think they're gonna. Every time I think they're gonna go faster, they don't end up doing it. So Junior Alvarado, I don't think is just going to go for it like that. I think he gets the lead, struggles for a bit, but after that first half mile, I think they settle into a 48-second. I don't think they're going to be able to hold that. Most of these jockeys they're all going to start moving around the same time, I think, because the jockeys are so well accomplished. I do expect Arcangelo Castellano to come out and get the win in this one. He's just shown his speed. He has shown at the mile that 134. Scotland did a mile in 135. That's good, but he's going to be on the lead. She's going to take too much out of him. I think Arcangelo is going to close well. I got Castellano winning his 7th. Travers in this one. I've got Forte, Irad Ortiz Jr. Hasn't won the Travers yet. I don't got him winning this one. I think he runs 2nd in this one behind Arcangelo. I've got running 3rd. Going with Mage, Kentucky Derby winner. Good horse. Hasn't beaten Forte yet. Don't think he's going to beat him in this one. I got Mage running 3rd, and I've got Tapit Trice running 4th. Jose Ortiz. So that is what we got for this one. As usual, put your picks down below. Love to see those. Love to see what everybody else thinks. I think it's going to be a tough race to bet on. On paper, looking at this, a trifecta probably looks like the best way to go. I mean, if you're just trying to look for, I'm just going to take $2. Probably a trifecta key. The odds are going to be low on these top 2 horses, very low. Mike Boff is 8-5 favorites. I've seen that a few times. And they both might run 1-2, which means the exact is going to pay like $2.40. So you probably want to look at a try, maybe mix up a little something with a super. It's tough to do anything with horses that are going to be odds this low unless you really think neither one is going to win, and then you got to just go for the win. I'm trying to split place with either one of these other horses, Arcangelo and Forte being in here. Trying to split up place and show money, probably not going to be worth it at all. You're probably better off if you think one of the other ones is one of them is not going to win it. You're probably just better going for your horse to win, in my opinion. But getting into betting as a whole, that's I could do a whole separate channel alone on making the bets, betting, which pool to bet, which odds, depending on the races, depending on the favorites. It's pari-mutuel wagering is its whole separate entity. However, there we have it. I'm just going to leave it there. Put your picks down below. I'm going 2-1-4-3 once again. That is Arcangelo for the win.